Yo, what is going on, gamers, and welcome to the channel. Hey, in this video, we're going to be talking about the Dark Zone in Division 2. Specifically, we're going to answer four main questions here, the last of which we will go into the most detail on. But those questions are: 1. What are Dark Zones? 2. Where are the Dark Zones? 3. How do I unlock the Dark Zones? And 4. What will I do there? So without wasting any time, let's jump right into answering the first question. Dark zones are quarantined sections of DC that are riddled with contamination, and the best things you'll find there will in fact be contaminated, and they'll require a proper cleansing ritual of sorts before you can equip them. It's a PvEvP arena of sorts, player versus environment versus players. And there will be a number of different activities to engage in, but you'll share the space with other gamers as well. The chances of finding superior and high-end loot here are elevated, but you will constantly be looking over your shoulder, as predatory players can and will in fact attempt to steal your treasures before you can get away with them and lock them to your character. So the Dark Zone behaves differently than the rest of the DC map. Until you rank up to endgame status in the Division 2, your level will be quote-unquote normalized, so someone of greater level won't utterly destroy you in the Dark Zone. A level 4 player can essentially hang with a level 8 player if they go toe-to-toe in the DZ, although the higher leveled player will generally be favored, assuming they've played longer and have collected a wider variety of decent gear pieces and weapons along the journey. The Dark Zone also has its own leveling system, so you could be level 25 in the Dark Zone and be level 10 in the rest of DC. Different level system, and the more you do in the DZ, the higher your DZ level climbs. The higher your DZ level climbs, the more Dark Zone specific perks you unlock for your character. Now, those perks can be selected at the base of operations in the White House once you've recruited the character named Sanea Azera, and after a few that happens after a few hours of progressing the main story campaign. This is also the answer to the question, how do I unlock Dark Zones? So once you've recruited Sanea, the Dark Zones will each have missions that you must complete in order to unlock them, one for each Dark Zone. There are 3 Dark Zones in DC. There's DZ East, which is open to players levels 1 through 9. There's DZ South, which is open to players once they've hit level 11. And finally, DZ West opens up to players between levels 20 and 30. Now, once you've leveled up that high, all of the Dark Zones, East, South, and West, will be your level. You won't be matched up against levels 1 through 9 when you go into DZ East at that point. You'll match players around your level as well. So each one has its own mission to unlock them. Just open up your map. You will see a purple door icon for each Dark Zone. Navigate to it and start the mission. Each mission is pretty straightforward. You go into the Dark Zone, you map the place out, and you extract some basic gear. And once you complete the mission, you then have permanent access to that Dark Zone. So there, we've answered the questions about what Dark Zones are, where they are, and how to unlock them. So now let's chat about what you're going to be doing inside them. So like we said earlier, the Dark Zone gives you access to some tasty drops. Now, these places are riddled with purple and yellow health bar enemies and named yellow enemies who all have great chances of dropping high rarity gear. There are also weapons caches and loot boxes littered throughout the DZs, as well as special Dark Zone chests with solid gear inside of them. Now, on top of that, the Dark Zone, these zones are filled with players who are collecting rare gear too, just like you, which means if you're a ruthless son of a bee, you can off anyone you see and take their stuff if you so choose. So just know that if you start taking people's stuff, you'll be labeled a rogue player and eventually a disavowed agent, meaning other players can see you on their maps and come after you. So in order to go rogue and start assaulting other players, you have to hold the T key on PC. And I'm not sure what the command is on console. I don't play on console. But there will be a prompt that tells you what to push. That's how I learned it, was push T. on PC. There was a prompt my first time in the Dark Zone that told me, hey, if you want to go rogue, hold T. So you'll get the same prompt on console, it just won't be T, obviously. And that will turn you into a rogue player, allowing you to do damage to other players in the DZ and them to do damage to you. Now there are also terminals marked with a white skull icon that will turn you rogue if you hack them. So they'll give you some extra information about where to find loot, but hacking the terminal will set a timer where you're labeled a rogue player and other players can do damage to you and hunt you down if you're disavowed. Now, when you enter a Dark Zone, the first thing you should do is pull up your map. Each Dark Zone has several monuments to clear and loot. I usually just pick the closest one and start the rotation. New ones will pop up on the map as you clear the ones that are on your map. Now these monuments have tough enemies to take down. They can drop you some nice gear, but your best bet is to loot the monument's Dark Zone chest once you've cleared all the enemies at the monument site. Now this chest, it can be hard to find sometimes, but it's worth the search. You can pick the lock and take the goodies, but this will turn you rogue for a short time, which in my opinion is always worth the risk. You can use Dark Zone keys to loot the chest and avoid going rogue, but in my opinion it's rarely worth it to use the keys. Just pick the lock, go rogue for a couple of minutes, and run the timer out. Chances are someone's not going to run up on you in time to catch you while you're rogue. May as well pick the lock and let your timer run out. I've had several high-end drops come from these monument chests, and after you clear the monument, the loot chest is available to you, and then just open up your map and find the next one. Sometimes other random activities will pop up as well, like enemy patrols. You'll get a prompt from Isaac, right, the thing on your shoulder, and it'll say enemy patrol inbound. And you'll look around, you'll see a mob of enemy NPCs walking through the streets. You can mow them down. Maybe they'll have a good drop for you. There are also supply drops. They look like boxes with parachutes on them on your map. And so you have to go to that location, kill off the enemies, and then loot the chests that are on the ground before the enemies do. So join these activities. You might find some tasty loot there as well. Otherwise, great loot can also be found by simply exploring various alleys and nooks and crannies in the Dark Zone and finding hidden weapons caches and loot boxes. Now, most, if not all, of the good loot you find in these activities will be contaminated. Your agent will put them in a little bag that they wear under their backpack, and many times your baggie, it might fill up, right? How many items you can store depends on your Dark Zone level. And if your bag fills up and you find a piece of contaminated gear that you want more than something that you've already got bagged, you can just open the bag in your inventory screen and delete an unwanted contaminated item to make room for the new one. So here's the big catch. Anytime you die in the Dark Zone, you will drop your bag of contaminated items. Your little fanny pack, it drops. And they are then available for absolutely any player to snatch up. So don't die. If you die, you'll have you'll have to hightail it back to your body and reclaim your goodies, or you'll find the son of a that stole your stuff. In order to escape with your loot, you must have it airlifted out of the Dark Zone by helicopter. Now, each Dark Zone has a couple of extraction points marked by yellow arrows on your map. Go to one, call in a chopper, and once the chopper has been hailed, enemy NPCs will start to flood in and assault you. You have to keep them at bay and stay alive while you wait on the chopper to arrive. When it arrives, you have to run under the chopper and attach your bag of contaminated loot to the rope that hangs from the chopper. You then have to defend that bag for a short time until the chopper flies away with your loot. Now, during this process, you can be sabotaged by other players too. They could come and kill you before you attach your loot. They take the loot off your body and then they attach it to the chopper, right? Or they could kill you after you've attached it to the chopper, and then they just cut the rope and claim your bag of goodies. So make sure that during this extraction process, you have a good defensible position to fight from and keep watch over your loot. Once your loot has been extracted, you can go back to collecting more contaminated gear. Or when you're done and you want to actually equip the contaminated gear that you've successfully extracted, you can go back to any of the safe rooms on the borders of the dark zone, right? These purple doors on your map. Go back to them, and once you enter those safe rooms, you have to open your stash that's there and go to the delivery section. It's marked by like an envelope icon. Now all your cleansed gear will be there waiting for you. So move the pieces that you want to keep in your into your inventory, and they're yours to equip and use. So there you have it. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it insightful. And remember that level normalizing doesn't happen anymore once you level all the way up to endgame status. And the dark zone descriptions on the map, they'll show you that very clearly as well. So just pull up your map and hover over them. It'll tell you. Also, each dark zone has a vendor just outside the entrance that can sell you some tasty loot as well. So thanks for watching the video. If you ever want to tune in sometime to some dark zone grinding and endgame grinding, I've been partnered on Twitch for over 3 years now. I happily and gladly stream the Division regularly on Twitch. So come find me at twitch.tv/TheTrueVanguard. I'd love to see you sometime. Good luck out there. May your loot be bountiful, and I hope to catch you in the dark zone.